So today we're going to talk about dehydrated foods and why you might want to dehydrate foods and why I dehydrate foods. Um, a lot of the times I'll buy things that are on sale and I'm not going to eat 10 kiwi, you know, before they go bad. So the best way to preserve it from it going bad would be to dehydrate it. And you can use a dehydrator or you can use the sun. Right now it's winter where I live, so I use a dehydrator. Using the sun is always better. It gives the food you're dehydrating a little boost of vitamin D, which is always good. So yeah, this is like 8 to 10 kiwis right here. They're really good to snack on. And here we got some carrots. So the kiwi you don't need to blanch or parboil, but vegetables that are fibrous, you want to blanch them, which is just letting them sit in some boiling water for 2 to 3 minutes. It helps retain the color. And yeah, you're losing some nutrition that's in the moisture, but the majority of the nutrition is going to be there, like all these carotenoids. It's still orange. Blanching it helps keep that color too. So, yes, it is more nutritious to eat the fresh vegetable, but the next best thing would be eating the dried one, because all you're losing is the moisture. You're still retaining most of those nutrients. And to rehydrate it, you would just soak these in water and they would come right back to life. Things like broccoli and cauliflower, you want to blanch those in boiling water as well. Um, See, these I could have probably blanched another 30 seconds to a minute. That would have got rid of that brown color. The brown color is okay. It doesn't mean that it's bad. Another reason why you might want to dehydrate your food is because this jar of broccoli will last about 10 to 20 years, depending on how it's stored. I'll probably eat these within a few months, but you keep a cauliflower in your refrigerator, it's going to go bad in a few weeks. You dehydrate it, put it in a jar, you don't have to worry about that. You buy them when they're on sale, you're always going to have cauliflower. It's pretty easy. And you can experiment. Like this is my homemade sauerkraut that I dehydrated. Tastes like the salt and vinegar chips. And you can do jalapenos. You can do lime. It's almost endless, the things that you can do. Tomatoes. So like the lime, the kiwi, and the sauerkraut, I would not blanch or parboil. But the jalapenos, the carrots, the broccoli, and the cauliflower, I would. The tomatoes, you don't need to. And these are a great snack. You can even just snack on them. Like you have watermelon. They call it watermelon jerky. That stuff's really good. It is really good. I think I'll have a piece now. You can see how it's dry. Just kind of snaps like that. It's like watermelon chips. You got dehydrated honeydew. They're like honeydew chips. These are really good. And the ones that are brown, that's just the same process that happens when you heat sugar in a pan on your stove. The sugar turns brown. So when it gets hot in the dehydrator, that sugar turns brown inside the fruit. So it doesn't mean it's bad. This will last for years and years. And anytime I want honeydew, I have it. Cantaloupe is very good to be dehydrated. Cantaloupe jerky, anybody? Lemon peel. You can grind it into powder, use it as marinades for meat. Put it in capsules, use it as a supplement. You can add it to tea. It's kind of bitter to just snack on. These are nice. Zucchini. You can snack on these. Zucchini chips. Now, one of my favorite fruit to dehydrate is strawberries. Now, these things are absolutely amazing. It's a real treat. So you don't really need to parboil or blanch fruit. I never have, but and some vegetables I don't blanch, like tomatoes, which is actually a fruit, but fruit and vegetable are culinary terms, not botanical terms, or at least vegetable is, fruit is. But onions, I do blanch those, and I can grind these into powder. You can make your own onion powder. You can do it with garlic, pineapple. Very yummy. These, out of everything that I've dehydrated, pineapple has taken the longest. That also depends on how you cut it, the dehydrator that you're using, the temperature, all that. And like I said, it's better to do it in the sun if you can. It's always your best bet. Right now there's not a lot of sun. I've been using the dehydrator every day. Potatoes, slice them real thin. These you definitely want to blanch or parboil, because if you don't, they turn black. And you can still eat them. It won't affect the flavor or the texture at all, but they'll be black. Nobody wants to eat black potatoes, so just go ahead and blanch your potatoes before you dehydrate them. This was a 5-pound bag of potatoes. That's another reason why I like to dehydrate, is because it simplifies everything. I could have a 5-pound bag of potatoes, and I can simplify it into, a jar and a small bag. The shelf space is a benefit. The fact that they last for years is a benefit. Of course, you got your dried beets. These are good to just snack on. Or you can rehydrate them with water and add them to salads or whatever. And you got, of course, your radish chips. These are also just good to snack on, or if you want, you can rehydrate them and add them to food. Mushrooms are one of the greatest things to dehydrate. They dehydrate so fast and so good. And you can rehydrate them in water, and they come right back to life. It's absolutely perfect. And if you grind it into powder, you get mushroom powder. And this stuff smells amazing. It tastes amazing. It really adds that umami flavor to anything you're going to cook with. And so what I do is I dehydrate them whole. And this goes for everything, whether it's onions or anything. If you want to powder, you powder what you're going to use within 6 months. And then when you need more powder, you break down the solid mushrooms into powder. So I'm not going to powder all this up right away, because when you break down your thing into powder, it creates more surface area, and it's going to lose its flavor and nutrition faster. So when this runs out, I'll take this and turn it into powder. I'm not going to turn it all into powder, because you don't want to store powder for, the powder doesn't last as long as the whole fruit or vegetable. You want to leave it whole as long as you can and powder as you go, as you need. Another thing that most people don't know you can dehydrate are marshmallows. These are marshmallows that have been dehydrated. And they were small marshmallows when I bought them. So when you dehydrate a radish, it shrinks because it's full of moisture. Marshmallows don't really have any moisture, so when they get dehydrated, they don't really shrink. These are the same size as they were when I bought them. They didn't shrink. They hardened. They're good to use in cereal. You could grind them into powder and use in baking or for hot cocoa or coffee. And you would only want to grind what you're going to use within, a few months. You don't want to grind this whole thing into powder unless you're going to use that in a few months. It's best to just grind as you go. But yeah, marshmallows can absolutely be dehydrated. They're amazing. Ginger, grind it into powder, add it to whatever. Of course, you got your turkey tail mushrooms, spinach. Leafy greens can be dehydrated. If you can dehydrate, the fruit of a plant, I'm sure you can dehydrate the leaf, and yes, you can. Grind it into powder, add that to whatever. Nothing beats that. Of course, you got your beef jerky, dehydrated fish. That's too easy. What about shrimp? Dehydrated shrimp. When you need shrimp powder for your cup of noodle top ramen, just grind up a couple of those babies, throw them in there. Can't beat that. Yeah, it's the dehydrated sauerkraut. Rosemary. All your herbs can be dehydrated if you don't have, a good source of sun. And you can use that in cooking. You can grind it into powder. You can put it in supplements. It's almost endless what you can do with the dehydrator or with the sun. So I'm saving money buying things in bulk that are on sale. And I'm able to preserve them for a long period of time. And while doing that, they're taking up a smaller amount of space than they would if not dehydrated or dried by the sun.